Welcome to this demonstration of CareLineLive. Today we'll be covering all aspects of the CareLineLive system and how it can help manage your care agency day to day. So first of all, today we are going to start by looking at our clients. We are going to have a look at Terry Coates. So here she is. This is a general information area for the client where we can store all of her general information, all of her contact information, important contacts, then alongside all the service information. So when you set up CareLineLive, you'll be setting up contracts. These are essentially your charge rates. So to make a client active, a client must be attached to at least one contract, but of course they can be attached to multiple. You can store local authority reference numbers, NHS numbers, and so on. So all the relevant service information for that client. We also in CareLineLive have the ability to add custom fields, which simply means for you as a provider can store whatever kind of information that you like in here. In CareLineLive, we also have an area called carer compatibility. This just makes rostering a lot simpler based on a number of parameters that you ask the system to notify you on. So the actions are warn, exclude, prefer, or only. So for example, if Terry would only see a specific gender type, they would be the only carers that you'll be able to send to Terry for her visits. So it just makes life a lot easier. So coming on to the roster, we call the schedule in CareLineLive the roster. So this is where we start to plot all of the ongoing care for that client. So we come into schedule, and this is where we can start to add bookings. So we can either press that plus button there, or we can drag and drop. Once we do drag and drop, this is what you'll be greeted with. And then we can decide the days that we will be delivering care to that client. From this point onwards, our system will ask you to choose a booking type, and all of these booking types can be customized. It will then ask you to choose the contract. This basically allows CareLineLive to bill the relevant price for the booking. So for example, my private contract is set at £25 an hour. So CareLineLive will know to bill Terry £25 an hour for this booking. We can also choose carers at this point as well. So by picking a carer, this is what our carer compatibility looks like. So this is what we call whitelisted. So whoever is available to you will be at the top. It will show you the percentage of times they've been. And if they are not compatible, then you will not be able to select them. So if I choose Barry, at this point, I could also choose the contract we are paying the staff member on. So in this instance, the carer contract is set at £10 an hour. So we know that Barry will be getting paid £10 an hour for that booking. And I'll simply create that booking, and that will then always be a booking on a Tuesday until we physically go in and stop it. Once the schedules are set in CareLineLive, your day-to-day rostering is handled by our roster screen. This will show you the day that you're on, any unallocated bookings you have at the top, your staff members on the left, and the bookings that they are going to. Furthermore, in CareLineLive, we also have a travel time indicator built into the product. So it will show you that if you've got enough time between bookings in green, or if you haven't, in red with a warning. Everything in here can be moved. So if I need to bulk allocate those bookings to one carer, I can. If I want to move them back to where they are, I can. I can also select through my days here to see what we're doing on certain days. We can also in here have a look at our clients. From here, we can also book ad hoc bookings in here for the client. So if a one-off booking on any given day, we can book that on here as well. Going back to our carers area, if you were to move any bookings to other carers, they would get a notification on their mobile app that they've had a new booking added to their agenda. And also in here, we have something called the overview. This will default to a week, but you can select the dates, and simply what this system is telling you is the unallocated bookings you have for the period, the staff members that you have on the left-hand side, and their availability. We can also book carers against unallocated bookings on this screen as well. So it's just another way of connecting carers up to bookings that have not been allocated as of yet. So moving on in the CareLineLive system for our clients, we have a full email system built into CareLineLive. This is where we can design the tasks or medical tasks that we need to deliver to that client. So to do so, we press that plus button up there, and we can add a task or a medication task. Now, a task will allow you to write whatever you like in here. So this might be something like help with cleaning, whatever you deem important for that client. The medication will pull through from the medical area here, which will allow you to store your medical information, which I'll show you shortly. So this is all the medication that Terry's on. So if I choose 250 milligrams, it pulls through the dosage that we've stored in the medical area here, any instructions the carer should be aware of, and so on. The importance level will indicate where it sits in the app for them to perform, low at the bottom, high at the top. Then you can choose how often you need to deliver this to the client, so you can schedule it. We can link specific tasks to specific visits, and you can also change recurrence rules. So when these tasks are set in CareLineLive and carers are going out and performing these tasks, the system will audit those tasks by providing you with a number of reports. So by pressing the PDF, we can download a number of reports in CareLineLive based on the task that we're performing. So you have a tasks and medication report, a task sheet, or just your MAR sheet. But I'm going to show you both of these, and we'll go back to the month of March to have a look, and I'm going to export that. That generates a PDF externally outside of the CareLineLive system, and it gives you an overview of the client up here, and then it will indicate what's being done in terms of those tasks. So the information you're seeing here is the medication. The C here is a completion code. That means that the carer has completed it. BW, that is my initials, and the time of when it was done. Also, what I must stress about our mobile app is it works completely offline. So if a carer goes to a location with no signal, they can still log in. It still remembers the time they checked in, and most importantly, they will still be able to perform their tasks as required. And it will remember exactly what they've done, and then it will send that information back into your system in the office to indicate when it was performed. So you can see here, these are being completed. Now, the completion codes I mentioned earlier, these are what are preset in our CareLineLive system, but you can, of course, customize them to also suit your organization. And any additional comments that the carer writes are also stored in here. We have in CareLineLive a journal. Now, the journal simply acts like a diary. So this will remember all the visit notes or checkup notes, but importantly, from an office perspective, allows you to store information as it's reported day to day. And again, with a drop down here, you can customize whatever you like in here. All these journal entries can be reported on, which is a vital part of compliancy and auditing within CareLineLive. So from a care planning perspective, we have some pre-built assessments for you. So we have scored assessments such as the Braden scale and so on. Then we have single assessments such as about me, communication, conditions and needs, and all of the following. One of the new standardized reports we've just released is the PRSB report. So this is a standardized report that the PRSB has asked providers like CareLineLive to be able to provide, providers such as yourselves. But of course, you can use and fill in as many of these as you require. What I also must stress in CareLineLive is that all of these assessments can be PDF'd. So if we need to share them externally out of CareLineLive, it will generate that information externally for you. Furthermore, to create a working document, we can go into here, export as a duplex, And then what this will do in here for you is it will download an assessment in here for you, and it will create all of the platform in terms of all of the assessments that you filled in to create that one document. We have body map functionality in CareLineLive, so we can annotate on the body map in here for the client. So by adding annotation, we can choose whatever we like, the medication, we can do injury, incident, so as many as you need to require. And importantly, we can also export it as a PDF outside of the CareLineLive system. We have observations, so your carers within the app itself can monitor observations, so meal, fluid, blood glucose, catheter, heart rate, bowel movement. And that is all recorded in here. They can leave comments, and importantly, they can report concerns. If a concern is raised in CareLineLive, it sits in here, and it will also notify you of those concerns via this system, but also via email if you set it up to do so. If required, you can send a concern to an incident, which will sit in here, or you can do a standalone incident by pressing this button here. An incident looks like so. So it will allow you to store all the information on the incident itself. So what the concern was, if there was a concern, what the type and severity were of the incident itself. If you need to annotate on a body map, it will show you who's affected, who else had direct involvement, when did the incident happen, was it during a visit, when was the incident reported, and our RAG system rating around the incident itself. It then gives you an area to store the circumstances around the incident and any evidence you need to upload. It will then give you an area to store your investigations. So who is the investigating person, and is there anybody that we need to contact externally based off this incident? And then you can store your outcome in here, which will show you or allow you to evidence how we've dealt with the incident. So what were the lessons learned, how we dealt with it safely, how we dealt with it effectively, in a caring manner, responsive manner, and so on. And importantly, from an incident report standpoint, you can also PDF that, which creates an external document outside of CareLineLive. So back into our clients area. So we have a document store in here, so we can upload all the relevant documentation for the client. We can also choose whether specific documents are also shared with the carers in the app as read-only and the care circle. The care circle in CareLineLive is essentially the family and friends area, but you can also give access to the client as required, and this will indicate information on the client. You can also in here limit what they can and cannot see. So depending on the client, you can give basic access or full access. So here we can see the latest visit, the documents that we've shared with them, the profile of the client or themselves, and the visit information as well in here, and the task to be performed. Also importantly, with the documents area, for any PDFs that are uploaded, so in our assessments, you can download those. Our incident report, you can download those. Your MAR chart, you can download those as a PDF. These can also be sent to a signature. So they will be sent by email to either the client or their loved one or whoever needs to sign this document. They will receive an email and then they will sign it. What this will then do in your CareLineLive system, it will show you when they've been signed and by who, but also importantly for types of documents in here, it will also show you the previous versions of those documents as well. So if I open this, it will generate a care plan for me that I've sent out for signature, and it will show me who signed it, when, and the audit of that signature as well. We have reviews in CareLineLive, so it allows you as a provider to store all the relevant reviews for your clients. So again, anything with a drop down here, you can customize. You can put a due date. When you're conducted the review, you can come and put a conducted date and an outcome in here, and they look like so. We can add a file if required, but also importantly, you can report on these. So you can run a report telling you when these reviews are due, but furthermore, in your dashboard here, we can see the expirations for both client and carers, because your carers will have reviews. So we can see we've got one here. If I click on that, it would open up the report in here, and we can see what we're doing for the rest of the month and for next month as well. This also is a nice screen to show you how you're working on day to day. So it shows you any alerts, all your visit stats, and anything that we've done to the system to update it, we tell you of in here. So back into our clients, and we're going to have a look at the mobile app. So we use QR codes in CareLineLive. So we come into what we call the markers area, and this is where we download the QR code. This is then placed in the location, and this is what your carers will be scanning in and scanning out of using. So we're going to have a look at the mobile phone now and the mobile app. So the mobile app is downloaded on their device. We can also offer a managed service where we provide a mobile phone as well. But this is the CareLineLive app. So they log in, and the first thing they will see is the booking that they've got coming up in their diary. So we can see we've got Terry at 2 o'clock. This is what their rota will look like to them. Now, from the management portal that we've just been looking at, you can decide how far forward they can see. So the cutoff in CareLineLive is 1 day or up to 4 weeks worth of rota. So you can either see 1 day or up to 4 weeks, or anywhere in between that period. So when they go into a booking, they can see information on the client, they can see the address, they can see any access information. If it was a double up, they'd be able to see the carer they were going with. And when they arrive at the property, they press check in, they scan the QR code which they found in the property, wherever you've put it, they press check in, and now their booking is active. So now they can go in and see the tasks they're doing. They can also have a look at any notes that were left for them, any documents that they can view as read only as well. We can also have a look at any observations that we need to do. So this is where they can monitor meal, fluid, blood glucose, blood pressure, catheter, heart rate, bowel movement. So today we're going to monitor fluid. So we're going to monitor that she had some water. It's going to ask me to put a status in. It's going to ask me to confirm how much. I can write comments. I can also take photographs, and I can also report concerns from observations. We can then do our tasks. So we're going to start with take the washing out. They are the completion statuses that I mentioned earlier. And again, you can choose from. We can write comments, they can take photos, they can report concerns. Within the CareLineLive app, we have a safety feature. If a carer tries to check out without completing the tasks, it will always take them back to the task they've not done. So they must put a completion code in here before they can check out. So we're now doing a medical task. I can write comments in here again. With the medical tasks, it will also ask them to confirm the dosage. And then we have laundry to do. So I'm going to save that. And then if I want to write an additional note, I can write an additional note in here, choose whether it's positive, negative. So your carers can document all over this app. So when they're finished, they simply press checkout. They scan the QR code. They can leave a handover note for the next carer, and they can write some additional comments. So we can put visit went well, and I can press checkout, and that is my bookings over for the day. So that is the app in CareLineLive. So what we're now going to do is look back at the main management portal. So within the management portal itself, you are going to get alerted on everything in here that's happening out of variance. So late arrivals, missed bookings, missed tasks, tasks that have not been done in a certain time frame, missed medications, alertable medications, and note reviews. And a note review simply means if someone's put a swear word in here, you're going to get a notification or a swear word in the app. But also that will email you if you set it up to do so of your alert. So you shouldn't miss any alerts that are happening in the system and in the field, but also importantly in your roster screen here, it will indicate of a color change in the roster if there is a problem. So by clicking on this change or this booking, sorry, you'll be able to see that between 2 and 3 I was supposed to be there. We arrived at 33 minutes past 2. And we were only in the app for 2 minutes and 7 seconds. That was from the moment I checked in to the moment I checked out. So it's recording everything I'm doing in terms of the time I'm in the property. But importantly, we use QR codes for this reason. This is where I've scanned that barcode. This has indicated that the QR code has been copied because this is where I was supposed to be, down in Peterborough. So if a carer has a thought of copying a QR code and scanning it somewhere else, our system is going to notify you in here. So you'll know exactly where they are when they've checked in. So it covers you in terms of safeguarding for that client. And also it will show us the tasks that have been performed. If required, and you need to manually intervene with the check-ins, you can of course do that from CareLineLive here. So in terms of our carers, here we are. So carers information is stored in CareLineLive as very similar to our clients. There's a general information area here, contact information, employment information, so the contract we're on, work patterns, job title, payroll number, and again, any custom fields that you would like to add. We, of course, have a schedule. The system needs to know when we can work so we can book our carers against bookings. And simply, you go into schedule, we come into the days that we need to be available, and you come and place our availability in here, whether they're repeated, whether they're patterns of work, and so on. We have a basic leave area in CareLineLive, so we can store basic leave in hours in the system. Again, that's all fully reportable. Carers have a journal, so we can store information about the carers in here. Again, by pressing the plus button, we can choose the type, we can subcategorize because we can report on these. We have a documents area, so upload all of my documents, so driving license, right to work, DBS, train certificates, anything that you have stored in your main system, we can upload in here. Now, of course, because it's a document area, if it is a PDF document, you can send it to me for signature. So if you want to send me a contract or a policy to sign, you can send it outside of CareLineLive as well. And again, it will remember the previous versions. We have reviews. So as I mentioned, the clients have reviews. We also have reviews. So again, we can store all the pertinent and relevant information on the reviews for your staff members. We can put due dates, outcomes, and conducted. And again, they're all fully reportable for you. And then we have an area here for basic training. This allows you to come into the system and add whatever qualifications that you like. Choose the qualifications, the course lengths, the expiry. We can add outcomes when these trainings have been performed. We can put when the date was obtained, and importantly, our system will then indicate when they are due for expiry. So if you store information in the training area, what we can do in here is go into our tools, and then we have something called the training matrix in here, which will allow you to see at a glance what staff members are compliant or are non-compliant. So we can see Barry is compliant in moving and handling, and that expires on the 21st of June this year, but his health and safety has run out, his food hygiene has run out, and so on. And of course, we can filter by specifics, we can filter by qualifications, and so on. So a really handy feature to making sure that all your staff are compliant. And furthermore, You can also export that as a CSV externally to have a look at that data outside of the system. So in terms of reporting, CareLineLive has a plethora of reports for you. So from attendance reports to all your carer reports in here, to all of your client reports, to operational reports, so continuity, contingency, demographics, hours, leave, punctuality, and so on. So we can see you have a number of reports that you can utilize by using the CareLineLive system. And then finally, CareLineLive has an invoicing module and a payroll module. So when you set the system up, as I mentioned at the beginning, you'll be setting up contracts. So the system knows what to bill the clients for the hours delivered and what to pay the staff for hours delivered. So by running an invoice run, we press the plus button and we choose our parameters. So we choose the dates, any filters. So if you want to filter by contract types, buyers, clients, and so on, and we create that invoice run. An invoice run looks like so. So it will generate for the period of time and for the clients you're doing it for. It will show us the hours that we've delivered and what they owe us. And an invoice online in our CareLineLive system looks like this, has all the buyer details, and it will show you what we've delivered. And there's a number of ways of delivering these. We can either deliver it to the buyer as an email, or we can still, of course, download a PDF document which produces an invoice, will have your logo and company details on here, and then what the client owes us. And then with payroll, we operate gross pay advice because again, we know the hours that the carer has delivered, and we press the plus button and we can create an invoice run in multiple ways. So we can include leave and we can do by specific contract types as well. And a payroll run looks like this. So again, it itemizes the staff members, the hours that we've delivered, and what we're owed in gross. So you can produce a pay slip from here, and it will cover all the information that the carer has delivered. Or if you use an accountant or an external payroll supplier, you can export what we call a summary Excel, and that will generate all the payroll information you to be able to look at and work out the net deduction from. So that is an overview of the CareLineLive system. If you'd like to find out more, please do give us a call or drop me an email, and we'll be happy to answer any further questions that you have. Thank you very much for your time.